Blockchain. You have heard of this term. Probably also heard that this is the technology behind Bitcoin. Haven't heard about Bitcoin? Nah, I'm sure you have heard. Well, Bitcoin, the most popular cryptocurrency that has been there for quite a while now. But today we're not going to talk about Bitcoins. We're going to talk about the more generalized concept called blockchain. And we're going to talk in a simplified English language without much technical mumbo-jumbo, so that we all have a common base foundational understanding about blockchain. But the very first thing we should be clear in our mind is that Bitcoin, blockchain, and smart contract are somewhat related, but definitely not the same concept. But before that, if you think this video will be useful for someone you know, please consider sharing this video with them. By the way, a special thank you for all my new subscribers. I thank you all of your feedback. Special mention to my inner circle friends in Facebook for their suggestions, feedbacks, and support. Alright, back to the topic. Blockchain. Again, the very first thing we should be clear in our mind is that Bitcoin, blockchain, smart contract are different. Blockchain is a technical concept or a technical blueprint which is designed to address a particular type of problem. Well, contrary to popular belief that blockchain is new, it's not. A 1982 academic paper called Computer Systems Established, Maintained, and Trusted by Mutually Suspicious Groups introduces this concept similar to blockchain, and could very well be argued to be the very first blockchain type of idea, at least from an architectural point of view. On the other hand, Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency that uses blockchain as a blueprint under the hood and the underlying technology, but Bitcoin is relatively new. Started in 2008, 2009. Smart contract is a slightly different concept and theoretically may or may not be utilizing blockchain under its hood. However, today, when people refer to smart contract, they most likely refer to, most often they are referring to the smart contract implemented on the popular Ethereum platform. Ethereum platform is based on blockchain and uses a programming language called Solidity to write smart contracts. I know, this can quickly get complicated. So that's why we're not going to get too much into technical details today. In this first video, maybe we'll tackle these details on each of these ideas in a future video. Alright, in this video, we'll only talk about blockchain as an overarching concept and not Bitcoin or smart contracts that much, other than an occasional reference here and there. By the end of this video, you will have a clear understanding with respect to blockchain by looking at these three key points. Number one, what is the problem in a world without blockchain? Second, the solution blockchain brings. Number three, the impact it has on us, on our society. So what is the problem in a world without blockchain? You see, it has to do with basically two words, trust and inefficiency. Let's try to understand this. You see, we live in a world of transactions and records. If you really think about it, everything is a transaction. Your bank balance is a record in a bank's database. Your property ownership details is a record in someone's database. The like button that you'll press for this video or the comments that you'll leave in this video is a record in the YouTube's database. See, everything is a transaction or a record. And there is someone keeping this record. Now, bank is the middleman or central authority when it comes to your account and the transactions. The land records office in your area is the middleman or central authority for the land records, history, and so on. We'll call these central authorities or record keepers the bookkeepers or middlemen from now on. Why middlemen, you say? Because in any transaction, more than one party is involved, and the middleman is the one whom all the parties trust. And this is acceptable to many because it is better to trust one central authority rather than having complete chaos and breakdown of trust. So the organizations or the authorities or the agencies that keep these records are seemingly a necessity for the society to function. Without them, how can we buy something or trust anything or anyone in this world? So you may say, Deepak, this is not a problem. This sounds like a solution to the trust problem, right? True. But this central authority or organization that kind of acts as the middleman or the bookkeeper may seem like a solution at first. But if you really think about it, there are two inherent problems in this. Now, imagine if your bank loses all the records and the database is unrecoverable. What will happen to your bank balance in that case? I'm not saying that will happen, just saying as a giving a oversimplified example just to prove a point. So problem number one, the middleman has complete control over these records and the database. So theoretically, the middleman can modify or tamper the records if they really want. All the scams that we hear from time to time in the media is more or less related to this very problem. Problem number two, inefficiencies. You see, the middlemen often take a cut or percentage or a processing fee when there is a value involved in the transaction. This is a nuisance for most of the time, for most of us, most of the time. So it's trust and inefficiency. The original problem of multiple parties trusting each other on our planet, for which the central authorities came into existence, and then there is the issue of trusting the middleman who is supposed to be trusted by everyone for this thing to work, and the overhead of otherwise unnecessary process, people, technology the middleman brings with it. Still with me? So how does blockchain solve this? So what solution blockchain brings? The solution is collaboration and clever code. Yes, another two words, collaboration and clever code. You see, technology today allows us to have a system where there is no single central authority having full control over the records. Rather, the many and multiple participants from the community itself that will collectively own and operate the system. We often use the word distributed for such systems. How does it work? Well, we will not cover the technical details in this video, but right now we are keeping it super simple. Let's say technology makes it possible. So how does blockchain work? Let's understand how it works by taking an example. First of all, let's talk about the clever code part. Now remember the problem while we are understanding the solution. Okay. So a blockchain is a way to store records in a fashion that does not allow modifications to existing data once the data is accepted into the blockchain. You can think of the entire blockchain as a type of a database or a digital record book where only new records can be added but existing ones cannot be modified or tampered in a practical way. Alright? Blockchain uses a combination of four key technical concepts. A clever mathematical function referred to as hashing for tamper-proofing, an interesting data structure referred to as Merkle tree for optimized chaining of records, a consensus algorithm referred to as proof of work to make fraud financially and practically infeasible, digital signature using asymmetric cryptography for anonymous identity, ownership, or wallets. We're not going into these technical details, but I just wanted to tickle your curiosity a little bit about these key terminologies, that's all. Okay, so back to our plain English. A blockchain has multiple blocks. Each block contains one or more transactions in it. Inside each block, each transaction is linked to its immediate last transaction in a special way. Similarly, the blocks are connected or chained with the previous block in a special way. This special way that I'm referring to basically is the mathematical cleverness that utilizes the concept of hashing, nonce, Merkle tree, and proof of work together. That ensures security of the blockchain and protects it from tampering. We're not covering the details purposefully here to ensure that our first discussion on the topic is not too technical, but only to ensure that we all have common, solid, foundational understanding at a very high level. Okay. Now, every participant in a blockchain platform receives a copy of this complete blockchain database. This complete blockchain database is referred to as the ledger. And because every participant or node receives a copy of this ledger, it's therefore called a distributed ledger. And whenever a new transaction is reported by any system from within this democratic network of computer nodes, some special computer nodes referred to as miners perform some mathematical operations to validate and rebroadcast the blockchain with the proof of work, so that other computers in the network also get notified of the same. Whenever there is a conflict, a consensus algorithm decides and resolves the conflict. Again, we are not challenging or scrutinizing the effectiveness of the consensus algorithm. We're just trying to get a feel at a very high level of how it works. So the key takeaway is that blockchain is ensuring security and authenticity of the records by utilizing mathematics and clever programming. Thus, it is removing the need of any middleman or central authority. The hypothesis is that the proven and open mathematical algorithms and the functions based on a democratic open network of computers across the world is much more trustworthy and efficient rather than several non-transparent, closely guarded central authorities or middlemen. And that is either because of the inherent security loopholes or the overheads of processes or human interventions required to protect against such loopholes in these middlemen. There are more concepts like anonymous wallets that gives identity to individual participants in the blockchain that enter into a transaction. But we'll not get into all that today. Also, instead of completely open and distributed blockchain ledger, it is possible to have a smaller group utilizing this blockchain technology within a particular industry or a domain or even a country and so on. Still, democratizing and distributing central authority to a multi-party consortium of sorts, which in my view is far better than a total singular central authority. We'll also not be discussing these private blockchains or consortium blockchain concepts here. But remember that the blueprint is more or less the same. It's just a subset or smaller version of total open blockchain platform when we're talking about these consortiums. So I hope we have some idea of how blockchain addresses the problem of trust and efficiency through a democratic collaboration of mathematical and programming cleverness. Okay. So how is it going to impact us? Well, it has already started impacting us. A blockchain-based cryptocurrency, enables near real-time settlement of transactions, thus reducing the risk of non-payment by one party to the other. Similarly, blockchain-based ownership solutions are gaining popularity, like land ownership solutions. Many blockchain implementations are gaining popularity in the supply chain industry as well. Imagine a product in a retail store where a barcode or a QR code scan will reveal the full traceability of the product ingredients and quality control measures and other details in the making of that retail product. Not only the end user will get benefited if such technological solutions are implemented, but also the organizations and industry will get benefited as well. Today, there are a lot of duplicate data entry in many industries, including the supply chain and logistics industry. The sender keeps the detail of the same product in their own database. The receiver keeps the record in their own database, and so on. There's a lot of scope for reducing data entry, data duplication, human involvement, and process reduction and information reuse, leveraging the power of blockchain. We have seen the impact of Bitcoin on the world stage. As of today, it is legal in many developed and developing countries. Even in India, after the recent Supreme Court ruling lifting the ban that the RBI circular put against cryptocurrency associated financial organizations, apparently as of today, Bitcoin stands not illegal in India. However, note that we're only talking about the legality of Bitcoin cryptocurrency, not blockchain. Blockchain is a very robust and effective architectural blueprint for solving this trust and inefficiency problem. Coming back to the impact of blockchain on us and our society, another popular impact of blockchain can be seen and felt in the smart contracts world. Ethereum is a smart contract blockchain platform which is very interesting in itself, and it is based on the blockchain blueprint. However, Ethereum is not like Bitcoin. Although Ethereum platform has its own cryptocurrency called Ether, which is at the moment the second most popular cryptocurrency after Bitcoin. Ethereum is a smart contract platform. I'm sure we are going to talk about Ethereum very soon, but not today. On a closing note, I must share with you that sometimes it makes me wonder what is the future of the human race. Are we one day going to become a planetary civilization where there will be no boundaries but only a democratic federal system for the whole planet, like in the Star Trek? Or will there be driverless cars everywhere? Is IoT, or Internet of Things, going to be ubiquitous? And would that be desirable to start with or not? Will all this technology make us less spiritual or more spiritual, less wise and kind, or make us more of an emotionless machine? Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. Hi, my name is Deepak and I welcome you to Master Fundamentals. On this channel, every week I'll be posting videos on general topics of interest around technology, science, and fundamentals on various topics to entertain you, and at the same time to make you a little bit more smart every week. My name is Deepak Nanda and I have been working in the software industry for the last 17 years. In these 17 years, I have worked for companies like Microsoft, United Health Group, Nagarro Software, FactSet Future System, Polaris Software Lab, and several others. I will come every week to you with videos like this. So if you like my videos, please hit the like button, do subscribe and hit the bell icon, comment and share these videos with others. Thank you very much. Until we meet again next week.